A biologist says, this is going to cause some controversy, that religious fundamentalism could be mental illness. For a long time on this show, we've been saying that the line between fundamentalist religious beliefs and schizophrenic or otherwise disturbed mental illness type beliefs is a pretty blurry line. And now an Oxford University researcher named Kathleen Taylor says that one day religious fundamentalism may be considered and treated as a curable mental illness. You surprised? What's your reaction? Is this offensive to you, Lewis?
No, I just don't know if I would agree with that. It seems that if you're born and something is drilled into your brain from day one,
right?
Believing that wholeheartedly may not necessarily be mental illness.
Well, let's explore what she says further. One of the surprises may be to see people with certain beliefs as people who can be treated. Someone who has, for example, become radicalized to a cult ideology, we might stop seeing that as a personal choice that they've chosen out of pure free will and may start treating it as a sort of mental disturbance. In many ways, it could be a very positive thing because there are no doubt beliefs in our society that do a heck of a lot of damage. And she says she's not referring just to obvious candidates like radical Islam, but she's also including, for example, Christian beliefs that beating children is something that God has indicated they should do. We've talked about a lot of those stories, that all of that could be forms of a mental disturbance that could be treated. And I would go even further. I would say, what about the beliefs that repress people's ability to grow, to be creative, to limit their kind of freedoms, or to make them want to limit other people's freedoms based on these beliefs? What do you think, Natan, about this analysis?
Well, I find the potential applications of this pretty distressing because you can then foresee a time where the government will determine that someone who is against the government and says certain things about it, including some people that we think are ridiculous, like Alex Jones and other people,
right?
And then say that we need to treat them in some cases against their will. So I'm kind of concerned about the idea of medicalizing all of these beliefs. I understand the idea that we're not talking about simple religious people. We're talking about fundamentalism.
Right.
But I think when you apply it to other types of beliefs, I don't think we'll be so hot to think about the consequences.
Yeah, I'm sure there are some cases in which schizophrenia manifests itself in the form of radical religious beliefs.
Yeah.
But in other cases, I think it really is just stupidity and or indoctrination. And like Natan says, this could go in many different directions.
The argument that it's just the way kids are indoctrinated and brought up, couldn't we argue that a lot of commonly accepted mental illness, like, for example, deep depression or schizophrenia, these types of things, while they may have a biological component, that severe trauma in upbringing can certainly bring out those conditions? Wouldn't this be along those same lines?
Maybe, I don't know.
There is some irony to the fact that for a long time fundamentalists have been saying it's gay people that are actually mentally ill, and now not only have we confirmed that gay people aren't mentally ill, we might actually be finding some information there's some theories that it's those fundamentalist beliefs that might be a sign of mental disturbance. There's something ironic there, I think.
I know.